5 hot takes for the 2023 season. Let's see what Mr. Rusty Buckets has to say. Let's get it.
They are healthy this year, which that is
Oh,
a
let
big
me let me let
caveat to
me,
get into
let,
it.
let me back up a
The
little bit. Let me
five
back up a
hot
little bit.
takes for the 2023 season. Let's get into it.
I
The
think
Denver Nuggets, if
I think he too loud. He might be too loud. Hold up.
healthy this year, which that is a big caveat, are going to be the number 1 seed in the West and win over 60 games, though they are not going to be considered championship favorites in spite of this.
Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hear him out, and I'm gonna say if I agree with him or not, if it's a hot take or a cold take, and then I'm gonna give my little 2 cents about the take.
do want to make that
I'm not gonna
distinction
do all
clear
5. I'm probably gonna do like
just
2 or 3.
because I do believe the Nuggets, if they're healthy, will be the 1 seed. Being the 1 seed does not inherently mean that you're a championship favorite by any means. I still
That's
think
true.
teams like the Warriors, especially, would be viewed as a favorite more so in the Western Conference rather than the Nuggets, more so because of experience and the fact that they just won it last year. But that said, Denver's offense, to me, for real, still, we haven't seen the full potential it has. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. as complementary pieces to Nikola Jokic and his offensive game and the system that the Nuggets run around his playmaking, it is going to be something special. I think there's not really a better fit in the league, at least on one side of the floor, than Otto Porter Jr. and Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray and Jokic is not that far from it. Jamal and Michael Porter Jr. is not that far from it. Everything about their offense is
He's spitting
seamless.
so far.
Guys know their role. They fit
He's
into
spitting
their
so
role.
far.
They
But
play off
I
of
got
each
something
other.
I want
They
to say about
complement
this.
each other. It's just a perfectly constructed roster for the offensive end of the floor. Defense can be concerning, but they end up
Mm-hmm.
usually outperforming
Because they
expectations on
score.
that side of the floor when
They just
everybody's healthy,
outscore
anyways.
opponents.
And I just
Defense
think
can
that
be
this
ass
is
if
a
you
team
putting
that
up
is
120,
poised in a
130
lot
points
of
per
ways in
game.
the regular season. Ironically, would probably be the best season of Jokic's career, but I seriously doubt he's going to get an MVP out of the equation because there's no way they're going to give someone 3 MVPs in a row anymore. I think
That
that's
is
a thing
true.
of the past. Before I continue on this video, if you
Okay. What I have to say about that is he's 100% correct in the fact that if they're healthy, they can make. Well, I'm sorry, I was going to say they can make a deep playoff run. That's not what he said at all. My comprehension skills are nuts. But no, I totally agree. If they are a healthy team, they can win 60 plus games, be the 1 seed in the West. But something that I would like to add on to that being healthy, I don't know if this, I don't know if this plays off of each other, but not only do they have to be healthy, but they have to be consistent in their play. Jamal Murray is coming off of a season ending injury. He hasn't played in a season and a half. Last time he played was in the bubble, I think. So he's coming back from that injury, along with Michael Porter Jr., who hasn't really been consistent because he has the back injuries and all of that. Jokic is probably their only consistent player on the team. Like when Jokic is out there on the court, you know what he's going to give you. You know he's going to give you most games. He's going to give you 20 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, and then somewhere around the 10 assist mark, probably like 7 to 10 assists per game. You know what Jokic is going to give you on a consistent basis. Now, Jamal Murray, like I said, coming off that injury, you don't know and we're about 14, 15 games into the season right now. This video came out like a month ago. For like 14 to 15 games into the season. But with Jamal Murray, you don't know what he's going to give you this year on the consistency basis. Yes, he can be healthy the entire year, but that doesn't mean he's going to perform at the rate he was performing before he got injured. I mean, look at Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson has been healthy for over half of a season, um, and he's still not looking as good as he did before his injury. Now, with Klay Thompson is different because he injured himself twice and was out for like 2.5 years. But Jamal Murray just needs to be consistent, and that's something that they have to look at. Along with Michael Porter Jr., he just had a game against the Bulls when Jokic didn't play, and he dropped 30. And then last night against I forgot who they played against. Who did they play against last night? I forgot. But last night he had 3 points. So to go from a 30-point performance without Jokic on the court to just a 3-point performance without Jokic on the court, that's pretty concerning on the consistency side of things. Now, when Jokic is out there, it's going to be a lot less pressure on Michael Porter Jr. to put up 30 points. Like, I don't feel like he needs to put up 30 points every single game for them to be the 1 seed, for them to win 60 plus games. But I do feel like he has to be consistent in a way that if you're not going to be a factor on the defensive end, you have to come offensively 15, 20 points per. Because if you're not playing defense and you're scoring 3 points on offense, you're just a dead body on that court. You're basically just getting cardio in at that point. You're not doing anything for the team. So, along with the health, I do feel like consistency is a big part of this Denver Nuggets team being that 60 plus wins team and being the one seed in the West. But for this, I'm gonna give it it's a it's a lukewarm take. It isn't really a hot take. It isn't really a cold take. It's a lukewarm take.
Take number 4, a kind of lazy one because it's the same
Oh,
team,
the
but it's the
Cavs.
Cleveland Cavaliers. I think
Oh,
there is a
lazy
really high
take.
likelihood that the Cavaliers this year are the number 1.
Again, I feel since it's the same take, my thing about the Cavaliers, I don't know. I was going to say it would be more so on the defensive end, but I don't even really think that's been a problem for the Cavaliers this season. May have been a couple games where they just sucked defensively, but overall, did he say they're going to win 60 plus games? The Cleveland Cavs healthy will win the East. Okay. Whoa. 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 I didn't know he meant the exact same. I thought he was just going to say if they're going to be healthy, they're going to be good in the East. He said they're going to win the East and win 60 plus games. That is a scorching hot take. Nigga, you're on fire right now. I don't see I don't see the Cleveland Cavaliers winning, first of all, winning the East. When you got teams like the Philly's been kind of buns, but you got teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, who's still pretty good. You have teams like the Boston Celtics. Surprisingly, the Toronto Raptors are playing pretty well this season. Yes, I feel like the Cleveland Cavs will be probably top three in the top three, top five range, but winning the East and being number one, that's crazy.
I think
That's
there is a really high
crazy.
likelihood that the Cavaliers this year are the number 1 seed in
That's
the Eastern Conference.
crazy.
I think similar to the Nuggets, they really
You
have to
are
be perfectly
ablaze right
healthy
now.
to be a top seed and to win just a lot of regular season games, especially if the chemistry is right. And I go back and forth as to whether or not I believe the Cavaliers are a contender. I
And then
believe that's something
don't
that I
tweak
discussed with
too.
the
The
Donovan Mitchell
East,
trade
they're not
reaction video regarding.
the East isn't a cakewalk like it's been in the past 10, 15 years. The East has some competition now. Like even the bad teams, like the Indiana Pacers, they're pretty good. The Chicago Bulls are still pretty good this year. Then you had a team that I forgot to mention, the Atlanta Hawks. They're still a contending team. So to say that's you're on fire.
Where they land on that
You're
list, I
on
do believe they're
fire
going to be
right
a very
now.
high regular season team. And again, similar with the Nuggets, I think they'll
Wow.
be the 1 seed again, health permitting,
Wow.
but not
60
the same
plus
thing in the
wins.
East. I think even more so not the case in the East because the East honestly looks more stacked and at least deeper than the Western Conference this year. I
Exactly.
don't think the Cavaliers will be the team representing the Eastern Conference in this
But
year's
it's
finals, but I
supposed to
do
be a
think
hot
they're
take.
going to
It's
be a
supposed to be a
loud
hot
talk of
take.
the town, and I do think they're going to
This was
finish
hot.
at the very
This
top.
was hot.
Hot take number 3. Christian Wood will be a borderline to maybe even genuine all-star. Now, the irony of this is that
I've
after
always liked
writing this
Christian
in my
Wood.
Word document to give you this take, since then there has been some drama surrounding Christian Wood in Dallas. It was reported that
Mm.
he was going to be coming off of the bench for the
And
Mavericks,
he is still coming off
and
of the
he
bench,
tweeted LOL. Now, some people contend that
which
he
is
was tweeting
crazy.
LOL at the reaction, but it felt like he was subtweeting the coaching decision. Whatever that drama may be, I think some people are blowing it out of proportion, like it means Christian Wood's not going to be on the Mavericks 2 weeks into the season. I think Christian Wood's going to start off as a 6-man, and he's going to prove that he's absolutely starter quality. I don't think
Which should have been the point. Uh, Last night the um the Mavericks played the Rockets actually, and Chris Wood off the bench still when Luka Doncic wasn't playing off the bench still had 24 points, and the Mavericks ended up losing that game, which is terrible for me because I had them in my parlay. And guess what? I was one off. And that was the one I was off. I could have won $80. But that's a whole different story for a whole different time. But yeah, Christian Wood has definitely proved himself to be an all-star caliber player. Um shouldn't be coming off the bench, but I feel like you do need that spark off of the bench. But at the same time, the Dallas Mavericks are getting that spark with Tim Hardaway Jr. So I don't feel like there's any need to have Christian Wood come off the bench. I feel like he should be starting. He should be in that starting role. And they play him starter minutes anyway. Like in crunch time, he is the one that's in the game because he's the one that's performing to that um high level. So to have him coming off the bench still, I don't know why they do it. You can't say it's for a spark plug because Tim Hardaway Jr. is already coming off the bench, and he can give you an easy 15, 20 points off the bench. So it's weird. It's weird. Like I said, we're only like 14, 15 games into the season, so he may not be coming off the bench for that long, but as of right now, he is still coming off the bench.
Think he has consistently proven that, but I know he has the offensive capabilities to be a 23 point per game guy alongside Luka Doncic. Not to
Mm-hmm.
mention decent rebounder and
Mm-hmm.
put in the right situation, not a defensive liability, but if not put in the right situation, definitely a defensive liability. So
That
you
is
have
true.
to be careful with
Maybe
that.
that's why he's coming off
But
the bench. But at the same,
what
but
Christian Wood
then
brings to the table as a
I
power
don't
two
know.
man,
I
especially
don't know.
paired next to Luka Doncic, that is such a deadly
That's
combination that it's going to
that's
be hard
nasty.
not to play Christian at least 30 minutes per game.
Ex-
And I genuinely
They're
think that
giving him
Christian Wood
starter
is going to be
minutes.
someone who can
They're
play
giving
at
him
a
starter minutes.
borderline all star level just with a pretty good playmaker out there. And he's paired with a
I'm trying to see
generational
how many
talent
minutes he
who,
played last
honestly,
game.
lacking in offensive weapons. It would be one thing if Christian was like the fourth
Yeah,
most
last game
talented
he played
offensive
30
player
minutes.
on the
He
Dallas
had 26
Mavericks,
points,
which
8
would be great.
rebounds,
When it
3
comes to
assists,
being
a
able to put
steal, and a
points on the
block.
board, especially since Jalen
Start
Brunson
him.
is no longer in
Start
Dallas,
him.
Christian Wood is easily the second best offensive option on that team. And you know damn well going into it, so long as there's not any drama that blows that thing up, the second option, the second best scorer, is going to get minutes on your team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And presuming that he eventually breaks from that six-man mold, which I don't think would take long, I think he could play at an all-star level. Now, if he does end up holding that six-man position for the entire year, in
That's
that
crazy.
case, other hot take, Christian Wood's going to win six-man of the year. I am a
I
huge
can see
believer in
that.
him, and I'm really hoping that the subtweet that he put
I
out
can
was
I can
from
see that.
people's reactions and takes and not the coaching decision. Because frankly, as someone who is a huge Christian Wood fan, I literally have a Christian Wood Rockets jersey, which in hindsight, terrible purchase, but I do have it. It would be very disappointing if that was his mentality to being
I just
drafted.
realized
I think
Christian
that
Wood
he
went
has an
from Houston to
extraordinary talent
Dallas. He stayed in
to have
Texas. That's funny. Not funny, but funny.
what's the word I'm looking for? The entitlement to believe that he's just owed that spot. Like I think he has to earn it, and
He's
I'm
earned it.
hoping that
He's
that's
definitely
how
earned it.
he feels about the situation, and not that
He is
it's
he
just
is
a slight
playing his heart out
it's
right
like,
now.
dude, you gotta prove it. That's
He's
a
he's
fair
it's been
expectation.
proven, Rusty.
That
I know
said,
he made this like a month
I
ago,
don't
but
think
I'm saying it's been
he's going to
proven.
be spending
But
much
that's
more
not a
time
hot
as a
take.
six man. I've talked too much about this take. Let's move on. Hot take.
I don't think that's a hot take. I mean, even when he was playing with the Rockets, I mean, the Rockets are a tanking team, so he's going to get his touches. He's going to score. He's going to rebound. He was a double double machine last year, so I don't really think that's a hot take. And especially like he said, when you put him in the pick and roll with Luka Doncic, like it just makes it so much more easy for him to score the ball. So I don't really see that as a hot take. I've been a Christian Wood guy for the past couple years.
Number two, the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks are going to rematch in the
Oh, I like
finals.
this take. I
I
like the
realize I
Bucks.
used the
I like
Warriors as the
Giannis.
example for
I
them
like
to make it
Giannis.
out of the Western Conference,
I like
but
Giannis.
I do think the Suns have a real shot of making it
Is this a
into
hot
the
take?
finals, and no one's going to give them that credit
Oh,
because
now it's is this a hot take? I'm trying to think. Because the East, like I said, the East is competitive, but the West is just as competitive as the East. Just as maybe a little bit less competitive, but because you got teams like the Lakers and the Clippers who we thought were going to be upper echelon teams, they're at the bottom of their conference right now. More so for the Lakers being at the bottom of their conference than the Clippers. Um, and then over in the East, the Bucks still got to go through the Celtics again. But hopefully they have Chris Middleton, and if Chris Middleton is healthy and can play to the level that he was playing before he got injured, then yes, I can see them repeating. But that Boston Celtics team is bad. That's a bad team, man. I'm honestly, if it wasn't for Giannis, solely for Giannis being on the Milwaukee Bucks, the Boston Celtics would, in my opinion, be contenders every single season, which they are contenders every single season. But I'm saying, like, without a shadow of a doubt, they would be contenders. Like, I would be like, yes, Boston Celtics in the finals, Boston Celtics in the finals, finals. But since they have Giannis in the East, it's kind of iffy. But this is this is a another lukewarm take. I won't say it's hot,
Embarrassingly, they lost last
and I
year.
won't
I
say it's
think
cold.
that's
It's a
an
lukewarm take.
instance where they just kind of fell asleep at the wheel at the worst possible time and not necessarily an indication of how good they are as a team. Now, you could argue a true like championship contender team is not going to fall asleep at the wheel in that situation.
It
That's a
happens.
fair point.
It
Definitely see where
happens.
you'd be coming from with that one. But I just think this roster is really talented. I like the direction of starting Cam Johnson, even if it means losing Jay Crowder because he's being a little bitch about it. But Cam
Oh,
Johnson, when he starts, averages 16 points on like immaculate splits. I don't know that he started that many games in his career, but I do think their offense is going to be better. Looks like they're going to go to Cam more. Looks like they're going to go DeAndre Ayton more. Seems like they're going to take more pressure off of Chris Paul, which means Chris Paul is
mm.
just going to be all the more ready when the playoffs come around. I
'Cause
really
he
have
is
a
up
lot of
there.
things
He
for
is
the
getting
Celtics
up
to
there in
recover
age.
from and bounce back from last year, but I think they have a real shot at doing it. And as for the Milwaukee Bucks side of this equation, that's obviously the much less hot aspect of this take. I don't think there's a ton of proof
You
point
just gotta
taking
wait
every
to see
single
what Chris
mistake to
Middleton
say that
does.
the Bucks are going to be making it to the finals. But last year, I don't have to give you the whole shtick. Like, Chris Middleton plays in that series, they probably
They
don't make
win.
the finals.
I don't
But
even say
either
probably.
way,
Giannis
I
took them
mean,
to 7.
yeah, I think the Bucks are.
And speaking about that, Giannis took them to 7. Yes, Giannis took them to 7 last year, and literally everybody on that team shit the bed in Game 7. So if Chris Middleton is even, I'm not even gonna lie, Chris Middleton doesn't even have to play all that well. As long as he's another body on the court, his defense is a big plus, and then just the gravity he pulls away from Giannis. So Giannis can have an extra. Sorry. Ooh, I'm all over the place. Giannis can have that extra ball handler, and also have somebody who gets a lot of gravity towards them as a player in Chris Middleton. So defenses can't just collapse on him and have him either force up a shot or kick it out to a teammate who is not as consistent as Chris Middleton from the midi to 3-point range.
Just
That was,
the
I
best
don't
team in
know
the Eastern
what
Conference
happened
when
up
they're
there. I
fully
just
healthy, and I don't think that was
had a brain
inaccurate
fart.
last year. They just weren't fully healthy. So, as I say with every take in this video and just in general, because it's the most important thing that can just ruin any prediction, health being permitted, I think the Bucks make it back to the finals for sure. Like, I'm much more confident in
He
that
said
side of
for
the take.
sure.
And then the Suns making the finals, I do think that's a pretty reasonable idea. I would probably like go 50-50 between them and the Warriors, but hey, it's a hot take for a
The Warriors
reason.
not looking good right
I
now. All right, I'm gonna stop it there. If you want to go see what his number one hot take is, please go and um go to Rusty Bucket's channel. My just can't speak. I have a lisp, I think. Please go to Rusty Bucket's channel. Um and let me know. Let me know some of y'all hot takes. If you see this video, click it, like it, subscribe, and comment your hot take. And I might react to some hot takes in my next video. Hope you guys did enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace out.